Hello everybody and welcome back again to Dragon Age Inquisition. As you can see, I am not where I usually start my games, in front of the war room or in the Great Hall, but I'm currently out here on the battlements, and there's a reason for that, because if you remember I mentioned last episode there is something that I want to do before I continue with the next story mission. But before I'm going to do that, something completely unrelated. The weather system of this place is a little bit strange, isn't it? I mean, if you look here, there's snow everywhere, and it seems like we are like way above the tree line, and even down in the valley, everything is covered in snow, and the river is frozen and stuff like that. But on this side, there is no snow. As a matter of fact, we have trees here, real leafy trees, not even like evergreens. And I'm pretty sure there are some puddles of water somewhere down here that are not frozen over. And you see people running around in very light clothing. Like, for example, I don't know, Vivienne is standing at that balcony in her flimsy dress at the open window. So, yeah, I don't know how this works. How can it be so cold outside and apparently pretty moderate inside? This is truly magic. This place is truly built on magic. But yeah, that was just something that just occurred to me. That's not the reason why I'm here. But I want to do something else today. So yeah, Freya's out here on the battlements, and I let you in on a little secret. I think she has been here for half an hour maybe, and she's actually a bit nervous and has been pacing up and down all this time. So yeah, how did that happen? How did fearless, unyielding Freya suddenly turn all jittery? Now, as you know, we are about to head out into a dangerous mission again, and yeah, time is precious. Every day may be our last. So I think we should get this off our chest before we head into danger again. And yeah, as you probably have gathered from this, I'm going to start a romance today. And it's pretty obvious who it's going to be, because there is only one that I can actually initiate at this point. Which is why I have been debating whether I should wait a while longer, until I have more options that are actually available. But to be honest, I most likely wouldn't change my mind anyway. I've already spoken about Sarah and Blackwell in particular, and why I think they wouldn't be my first choice. Josephine would still be sort of an option, but like I said, I think she's a bit too, agreeable, diplomatic, whatever. And yeah, there's the Iron Bull. I'm not really sure about him. Probably would be a lot of fun, but I had a fun romance in the last game, and I think I want something more serious this time. Plus, whenever I see Freya standing beside that mountain of muscle, I just think, well, that gotta hurt. So yeah, I'm really not sure about the Iron Bull. And yeah, right, there's Dorian, but like I said, I have suspicions about him. I will maybe elaborate a bit on that at a later point. But even so, as charming as he is, I think he would be too flamboyant for Freya anyway, because she's clearly more, level-headed. So yeah, it's going to be Cullen. Might be a somewhat conventional choice, but I would like to say that this isn't just, a process of elimination, so that I just, rule out everyone else and then just leave whoever, then just pick whoever is still left. I think it actually, it feels like the right decision. What I, in particular, really liked about the interactions between Freya and Cullen was just, the utter awkwardness between them. If you remember the episode where I first talked to him in detail, I named it something like the two worst flirters and daters, I believe. But that's actually not doing Freya justice, because if I look at all the other flirting that I've done, and I mean, I flirted with pretty much everyone that I could, um, Freya was actually pretty smooth when flirting, normally. She was very charming and very witty, and she was always very confident about it. And normally she always knew just the right thing to say. Just like somebody who has had a lot of practice doing it. And I mean that kind of fits my idea that I had of her as somebody who had a fair share of romantic adventures. But I also imagined all those previous relationships to be more, well, Juno style, I guess. Kind of casual, kind of superficial. Or, to quote Isabella, I think she once said something like, I don't make love, what I do is only skin deep. So, that sort of relationship, basically. Um, that means that, flirting casually with people is probably, like an old habit of Freya, and I guess that's why she's also pretty smooth doing it, usually. It's kind of like, um, I don't know, some sort of practiced routine that she's just doing. But whenever she was flirting with Cullen, she's suddenly completely different. And she's not so smooth anymore. And instead, she's just, asking awkward, evasive questions all the time, like, have you taken any vows? Or are you with anyone? And, then just hopes that somehow he will get the message. So, yeah, I mean, there must be a reason for that obvious difference. And I think maybe it's because in this case she's not just doing her practice routine, and she wants this to be not just skin deep. And I just find that a very charming idea, that she's kind of used to be able to wrap almost everyone around her finger with her charm, but at the same time, she never really cared deeply for any of them. And now, for the first time in her life, she is actually, stumped, and she doesn't know what to say. And, she begins just to falter around him and gets visibly nervous just because that guy just smiled at her. And, usually she is, has everything under control, and she's the one that makes other people blush, if anything. And that's just a very endearing little idea, and just this whole idea of two, uh, let's say, emotionally clumsy warriors somehow trying to get together. That's just too cute to pass up, and I think it fits her very well. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt that he is also extremely good looking, not gonna lie. So it's going to be Cullen. Um, Interestingly, the strongest contender, if it had been an option, would have been Cassandra. And I think that is not a coincidence, because, I mean, Cullen and Cassandra, they have some similarities. First of all, they're both warriors, and I think that Freya actually has a thing for warriors. But also, both of them are pretty strong personalities with their own opinions, and both of them may seem a bit aloof or maybe a bit harsh at first glance. Cassandra actually more so than Cullen, I would say. But you kind of sense that, that there's more behind that. Something that's worth uncovering, maybe. And yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Because, since I basically made up my mind already, I figured it would be best to start this earlier rather than later, so that I get the whole experience of this romance. Also, I think we are now in episode 59, I think. And by this time in Dragon Age 2, I already had hot, steamy sex with Isabella a long time ago. And I think in Origins it was around this time that I first slept with Alistair. So I don't think it's too early to, at least get this started. So yeah, I thought before we head out into a dangerous mission again, we need to get this off our chest. Which means no chickening out, Freya. We are going to talk to him. I mean, you have faced demons and darkspawn and dragons before. You can do this. Come on, you can do this. Let's go and talk to him. And yeah, there he is.
First the Templars, now the Grey Wardens. Both devoted their lives to fighting evil. Now they serve it.
This is not the conversation I was expecting, but I guess all of those three options are true.
They were so desperate to destroy their supposed enemies, they did not see the one standing before them.
A mistake I've made before and wish not to repeat. The Inquisition must serve as an example. We must stand where others fall.
Alright, but the real reason why I came to talk to you is because I want to talk about us.
I thought we could talk. Alone.
Alone? I mean, of course.
Alright, let's see how awkward this can become.
It's a nice day.
What?
There was something you wished to discuss.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess Freya hasn't really made her intentions that clear, but you must have some idea why I asked you to come here, right?
Certainly not the weather.
I assumed that much. I can't say I haven't wondered what I would say to you in this sort of situation.
What's stopping you?
You're the Inquisitor. We're at war, and you... I didn't think it was possible.
Maybe we should be friends. Why would I ask him here just to tell him that? I mean, seriously. No, I made up my mind already, so yeah, we want to do this.
And yet I'm still here.
So you are. It seems too much to ask, but I want to.
Commander,
Bloody hell!
you wanted a copy of Sister Leliana's report.
What?
Sister Leliana's report? You wanted it delivered without delay.
Oh god, that glare of death. You are in trouble, my friend.
Or to your office. Right.
Oh dear.
If you need to...
Oh, well done. You saved it.
I'm sorry. That was, really nice.
Yeah, don't be sorry. You saved the situation.
You don't regret it, do you?
No. No. Not at all.
Okay, good. Well, that went somewhat well. And now I'm all alone here. Wow, we actually went quite a long way. Let's go back to him maybe. You don't leave a girl standing on the battlements after that, Cullen. So let's go back to him and talk to him once again, maybe. Oh yeah, hello.
I hoped you'd stop by.
Mm-hmm. I want to become a Templar. Right, specializations. I actually wanted to talk about that too, because I have made a decision on what specialization I want to take. And suffice to say, it's not going to be a Templar. We need to end this. What? I just started this. Seriously? Yeah, do you have time to talk?
Do you have some time?
Of course.
Of course. Alright. Yeah, I guess people will gossip.
The commander of the Inquisition and the herald of Andraste. That will have people talking.
You wouldn't believe how quickly gossip spreads through the barracks.
Does it bother you?
I would rather our private affairs remain that way. But if there were nothing here for people to talk about, I would regret it more.
Yeah, I mean, after that display on the battlements where pretty much everyone could see it, I'm sure that people will gossip. I don't even know why we left the office for that. You know I'm nobility, yeah, right, she is. Sometimes I totally forget about that.
The day you kissed me on the battlements, how long had you wanted to do that?
Longer than I should admit.
You don't have much patience for nobility. I'm glad my title didn't scare you off.
I hadn't considered. I have no title outside the Inquisition. I hope that doesn't... I mean, does it bother you?
Well, she doesn't really give much for her title herself, so of course not.
No. If you care for me, that's all that matters. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
I'm not very good at this, am I?
Nope.
If I seem unsure, it's because it's been a long time since I've wanted anyone in my life. I wasn't expecting to find that here.
Oh.
Or you.
It's alright, it's alright. You're not very good at this, but she isn't either. I was looking for a kiss.
Think you could slip away?
I believe so. Wait for me.
Ah, I see. This is kind of like in Origins, where you could go and ask Alistair for a kiss whenever you wanted. Okay, at least this time it didn't put me back on the battlements. Yeah, but I wanted to talk to him
hoped you'd stop
about
by.
right, a specialization. Like I said, I don't want to become a Templar because I have picked another specialization that I want to take, but just out of curiosity, I think I want to ask him that anyway.
I understand there's a way I could become a Templar, or gain the power at least.
Why would you?
Well, I guess if she would consider becoming a Templar, then it would be to help people?
Templars make sacrifices so they can protect people. I'm willing to do the same.
In Haven, you nearly... I know what you are willing to give.
Yeah. Yeah, what's it like?
What is it like to have powers? To take lyrium?
Strange. But after a while, your abilities become instinct. You wield them as you would a sword, without thought.
Is it like magic?
Do you think that's what it's like to be a mage?
No. Templar abilities are not magic. You draw on the lyrium in your blood and your training, not some innate ability.
You're sure it feels different? How do you know?
I just do.
Okay, got any advice?
You've been through this. I could use your advice.
Reconsider. It's not an easy life, and you needn't take on more.
Cullen.
I don't know what else to say.
He's really quite upset about it, isn't he? Yeah, it's fine, Cullen. I don't actually want to become a Templar. I promise. I was just asking. So yeah, don't worry about me.
I don't expect you to understand, but you shouldn't worry.
You're not making it easy.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That's all
I
for
don't
now.
Another time, then.
I don't want to become a Templar. I didn't really want to. And even if I had considered becoming one, I probably would change my mind now because I mean seriously, I couldn't do that to him. But yeah, since we just spoke about specializations, maybe let's head over to the trainers so I can talk a bit about more about my decision. Um, so yeah, I have been looking at the skills of my warriors and their specializations, and I also I've been thinking about what would fit her character the best because you know, since the writers they made the effort this time to actually tie the specializations into the story and give them an actual you know, story background. So I feel I should honor that effort by also considering roleplay aspects as well as gameplay aspects. But incidentally, both consideration eventually led me to the same conclusion. So I'm going to become a champion. I'm going to become a champion. As for the other two specializations, I considered Reaver for a while, simply because, I mean, Freya already is pretty tanky, and being a champion basically would make her into some sort of super tank. And I thought, yeah, maybe Reaver, because I never took Reaver before, and I could, you know, give me a bit more offensive powers. Not that keen on Templar. I mean, I really liked Templar in Dragon Age 2. But I felt it was a lot more useful in Dragon Age 2 simply because none of your companions could become one. And I think, okay, your mages could learn Dispel, but I don't remember any other significant anti-mage skills that you could learn. So in that regard, the Templar skills were really, really useful. And in this game, I can just take Cassandra along because she has all those skills. I mean, obviously, the same would apply to the other specializations. But I'm just saying that the Templar skills are not as unique in this game as they were in Dragon Age 2. And I'm not sure if I want to make Freya sort of support utility character. So yeah, I don't think Templar would be what I'm interested in. Like I said, Reaver may have been an option, but I think I'll go for the champion, and the main reason for that is basically the limitation of my skill bar. As you can see, I'm pretty much full on skills already. So if I take a specialization now, then I will have to replace some of them. The thing is, I don't really want to replace that many skills. I really would like to keep most of them. Definitely need Charging Bull and Warcry. I do kinda want to keep my 3 sword and shield attack skills. I mean, Shield Bash is very good for getting rid of guard. Lunge and Slash is a very good alternative to Charging Bull if you want to get close to an enemy. Plus, both Shield Bash and Lunge and Slash can trigger certain combos. I could maybe do without Payback Strike if I had to, but I rather want to keep it as well. I can do without the Shield Wall because I never really use it anyway. A Bodyguard would be optional, although I do personally like it actually quite a lot. And I do want to keep Mark of the Rift. So essentially I only have like 1, at best 2 slots that I could fill with active abilities. Now, if I look at the Reaver and the Templar, then it's my impression that they would be most useful if I can actually use some of the active abilities. But I can't really use them because I don't really have that much space in my skill bar anymore. So, the reason why I like the champion, where are you? Wait, it's Blackwall with the champion. Blackwall. The reason why I like... Come on. There we are. The champion is mostly for its passive abilities. So I wouldn't actually be using many of the active abilities on the champion tree. Like, I mean, Line in the Sand is interesting, but it is very situational. You need kind of a choke point, otherwise I don't think this would make much sense. I think the active ability that I want to get is Walking Fortress, and then I would like to use this in combination with Bodyguard, because Walking Fortress makes you immune to damage for a while, and Walking Fortress and a Bodyguard allows me to absorb some amount of damage from my companions. So I assume if I use both at the same time, then I can just, not only absorb the damage that I take myself, but also a part of the damage that my companions take. So I figure this might be pretty interesting to use at the same time. I may use Counter-Strike at some point. I mean, I can mix up my skill bar from time to time. There's no reason why I always need to take the same configuration. Other than that, I really like, more Constitution, more Guard, or this one. There's one that actually lets you, like, I think counterattack. Right, this one. This is kind of interesting, but like I said, I don't really know where to put it in my skill bar. But yeah, that's basically what I've been thinking. Get champion and level it up until I have Walking Fortress and replace the shield wall with Walking Fortress. And the rest will probably stay like it is. So yeah, I mean that's basically the gameplay consideration. As for the roleplay aspect, again, I think champion would fit her best. What I like about the champion is in particular that of all the three specializations, it is the only one that doesn't require you to take weird substances. I mean, supposedly the dragon's blood, it doesn't have any negative side effects, or so they say. But just in general, I think that, Freya is a kind of person that wants to gain skills by her own work and by hard training and by exercise, and not by drinking some magic stuff. I think that's more like her character, to be, self-sufficient, self-reliant, and not try to kind of shortcut to abilities by drinking something. So yeah, I think she would like champion the best, and it kind of fits her because like I said, it would basically make her into some sort of super tank. And I mean, I kind of see her as this indestructible, unyielding force of nature that just always moves forward, unstoppable. And in that regard, I think it would be really fitting to make her even tankier. Plus, I mean, I have been doing pretty well in recent battles, and Freya is barely taking any damage at all, but I figure that the fights will get harder eventually. And I mean, there's always for me the option to, turn up the difficulty even more, or to use some of the trials, so I think that would be quite interesting to make her into that undestructible super tank. But the only problem with the champion specialization is the fact that it still requires the most work, because I haven't actually dueled the champions yet, and I need to go to the Exalted Plains for that. Now, if this is anything like it was for the Reaver specialization, and then this may actually take a while. On the one hand, I would kind of like to get the specialization before starting the next mission, but I think this would take too long. So I think it's going to be the first thing that I do after the next mission. I could actually become a Templar already, which is kind of weird. I think those broken filters, I got them from regular Red Templars that I fought in some battles. And that is weird because, according to the description, I'm supposed to fight 3 specific demons that are roaming the hinterlands. So I think this is probably some sort of oversight, and you were not really supposed to get the filters from, regular enemies, because in the end I never really fought those boss demons, and still I could become a Templar. So that's kind of weird. And yeah, the Reaver, I still need rash wine, but I can get that from war table operations. But since I want to become a champion, I can't actually do this now. But once I have finished the next mission, I will go to the Exalted Plains and I will try to find those champions. So yeah, that's enough about the specializations, I think. Yeah, the episode is actually long enough already. So I think I'm going to end it now, and in the next episode we can start with the main mission. There are 2 more things that I want to mention. A while ago, I have been asked to give some sort of preliminary resume on the game, or my impression on the missions so far. And, due to all the Skyall stuff and everything else that happened, I never really got around to that so far. I think I will do this after the next mission. So basically, I will probably go back to the Western approach because I still need to finish a number of things there. And while I do all those side quests and stuff, I will talk a little bit about the game so far and my thoughts on the missions and everything that has happened so far. And another thing that I want to mention, again, a while ago, people asked me whether I would like to read more codex entries on camera, specifically about Elven lore, and yeah, I'm going to try to do that. And apparently there are at least a few people that would like to hear more codex entries on camera and my thoughts on it. So I decided that I'm going to record 1 bonus episode where I basically just read codex entries and give my opinion and my thoughts on it. I want to do this after recording this episode, so it will probably upload on the same day, today. So those people that are interested in hearing codex entries and what I have to say about them, they can look forward to another episode today. I decided to make it into a separate episode because I figure, it's very specific and not everybody will be interested in that. But those people that are, whoa, you're a ninja. You're a ninja guy. Everybody that's interested in codex entries, you can look forward to that bonus episode today. Everyone else can just skip it, and tomorrow there will be the next regular episode as always. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We didn't really do much, but we have a romance now, and I talked a lot about specializations. And yeah, like I said, next episode, not counting the codex episode, I will go back to the war room and start Here Lies the Abyss. So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.